The Camry doesn't really need an introduction. It has long stood atop the heap of midsize sedans, all fighting for supremacy in a very important segment. But sedan sales are now shrinking in favor of crossovers, so in addition to remaining on top in the segment, the new Camry has the not small task of turning the tide back towards sedans. Our review is not just focused on this specific Camry, but instead will also be comparing the styling and equipment for all of the trim levels. This is probably the most ground-up reinvention of the Camry since its introduction, so let's see if it takes the Camry to a new level. We would like to specially thank Toyota on Nicholasville for allowing us to come out and film this review. If you would like to check out their dealership and massive inventory of all the Toyota models, a link to their website has been provided in the video description. So there are technically 5 trims of the Camry, not counting the different engines. However, the base L trim is not something that you can readily get your hands on, so we're going to focus on the other 4 trims. This is Toyota's new Camry key fob for models with smart entry. It's standard on the X trims, and we have it added optionally. I like the design of it, and it even has Camry written on it. To lock the door, all you have to do is press this sensor, and then unlock by just grabbing the door handle. Before we check out the new interior and exterior, let's first check out the big changes under the hood. The Camry has been known to keep things pretty much the same from generation to generation as far as engines are concerned, but for 2018 all that goes to the wind. At first glance at the spec sheet, you might not notice the changes, since this is still a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine. But it's actually entirely new, with an aluminum block, higher compression ratio, and dual injection. The result is 203 horsepower, up 25 over the old model, and now class leading among base engines. Choosing the XSE gets you an additional 3 ponies. The next surprise is that an optional V6 engine sticks around, instead of a Turbo 4 which everyone, including myself, expected. It too is new, but with the same 3.5 liter displacement as last year. Power is rated at 301 horsepower and 267 pound-feet of torque, an increase of 33 and 19 respectively. Both these new engines are paired to a new 8-speed automatic transmission, and power is sent to the front wheels only. Even though extra power is always nice, what will really tickle owners is the fuel economy gains. At the time of this video, I'm pretty sure they're class leading, with the i4 being rated at 28 city, 39 highway, 32 combined, and the V6 at 22 city, 33 highway, 26 combined. Now there are some differences between the trim levels, so you lose 1 mpg on the highway for the V6 XSE, and if you can get your hands on an L, it scores an even better rating of 29 city, 41 highway, 34 combined. Well, I think that covers the extensive changes under the hood. So let's move on to the styling. The Camry is a lot of things, but it's never really been desirable. However, this new model might have changed that. Just like on the last gen, models with the L designation have a more luxurious design, and models with the S are sportier. Therefore, on our SE, we have the spindle-shaped grille. The top part is body colored, and the bottom is blacked out. The outside edge kind of looks like an H, and the entire thing is filled with a black mesh made out of little V's. You also have this area off to the side, which looks like a brake cooling duct, although it's obviously not functional. This setup is shared with the XSE, and the overall effect is something like an F-Sport Lexus. On the L trims, the look is completely different. The grille is still two parts, but the lower area is uninterrupted, and it takes up nearly the entire front end. The LEs is finished in matte black, and the XLEs in a brighter metallic gray color. Overall, this look has more in common with the Avalon. Moving up to the headlights, Toyota has chosen to make LEDs standard across the board, like on the Corolla. Not every model gets the same layout though, with the XLE and XSE getting a fancier integrated LED daytime running light. I have to say the overall shape of the unit reminds me of my 10 Camry. Coming up to the wheels, we have the new 18-inch machined finish alloy wheels, which are an inch larger than what was offered on the SE last year. The LE also now gets 17-inch alloys, and the XLE upgrades them to 18-inch chrome finish wheels, which I swear are straight off the Lexus ES. Finally, rounding things off is the XSE with its 19-inch black alloy wheels. The brakes are 12-inch vented disc in the front, and 11-inch solid disc in the rear. Naturally, the tires are all seasons regardless of size. Now, one of the most interesting features of this new Camry is that you can get a two-tone paint color on the XSE. Basically, it makes the pillars, roof, spoiler, and mirrors midnight black, and you can pair that with white, silver, or blue exterior colors. This is definitely a first for a midsize sedan. Coming to the mirrors, they will always be body colored, unless of course you choose that multicolored paint. You have to go for the convenience package to get heating, turn signals, and blind spot monitoring on the SE. The new Camry is 192.7 inches long, which is almost 2 inches longer than the outgoing model. It also sets a bit lower to the ground since it's now riding on Toyota's new TNGA platform. In addition to having a 1-inch lower center of gravity, this new platform allows for better handling thanks to a new multi-link front suspension and double wishbone rear suspension. In regards to safety, the Camry now has Toyota Safety Sense standard across the board. That includes pre-collision braking with pedestrian detection, lane departure alert with steering assist, automatic high beam headlights, and dynamic cruise control. Most rivals do offer these things, but they are usually not standard. Walking around to the rear, you'll see that it takes on a more athletic stance than ever before. I have to say, it's actually pretty attractive. Like the front, there are many differences between the trims, the first one being the spoiler. This only comes on sport trims, and it's a lot bigger than the one on the outgoing SE. Like the headlights, the taillights are also now LED on every trim level. Upgrading to the X trims adds a little bit fancier arrangement, with LED turn signals and reverse light. Also, only the SE and XSE get this little cut, which looks like it's borrowed straight from the Lexus LC. By my count, there are 5 different exhaust arrangements you can get, going from a single metal exhaust on the LE to a quad chrome exhaust on the XSE. You also get this aggressive rear diffuser on the sport models, versus a smooth one on the L model. The Camry has a 16-gallon fuel tank, regardless of trim. This gets the i4 Camry a 512-mile range, falling to 416 miles for the V6. Both engines use regular unleaded fuel, which is nice since rivals' turbo engines often require premium fuel for the best performance. So that's it for the exterior. Now let's check out the area where you'll be spending most of your time. At first glance inside, you'll notice that there's almost nothing to recognize the Camry by. Even little things like the buttons and switchgear have been switched out. Of course, there are a ton of different ways you can outfit the interior. First, for materials, the LE has cloth seats, the SE has cloth and Softex seats, and the XLE and XSE get full leather. For colors, LE and XLE can choose between black, ash, and macadamia, and the SE and XSE get ash gray or black. Additionally, some XSE colors can get a red interior, believe it or not. The door trim also uses new materials. The armrest is padded softer than before, and the upper portion is also soft touch. Four fully automatic windows are back after being eliminated for the last generation. Every Camry LE and up get this 8-way power adjusting seat with 2-way lumbar. The Stripper L has 6-way manual seats. So like I said, on the SE we have this Softex synthetic leather, which is a lot softer than last year's. The middle is made of fabric, also a lot softer and more premium feeling. The first thing that strikes me about the cabin is just how different and how much more upscale everything looks. This isn't even a high-end model, and things look quite nice. Things also feel quite nice. The upper dash is composed of very soft and high-quality soft-touch plastic. And on the SE, you have this really cool embossed mesh trim. Other trims get fake or real wood. Below that, you have a leather padded area, and that extends all the way down the passenger side. And of course, everything fits together really nicely, despite the fact that there's a lot of interesting shapes that have to fit together. Push button start is included in the convenience package, or standard on X trims. This is the new 7-inch display, which is the base screen on every trim level. A larger and higher resolution 8-inch screen is optional. The gauges have a new design, which is cleaner than last year's. The LE and SE both get this large 4.2-inch multifunction display, but all the other models get an even bigger 7-inch display. Regardless, even this one has a lot of information, ranging from your traditional trip information to settings for all of those new safety systems. In addition to having a larger screen, XSE and XLE can get a huge 10.2-inch color heads-up display. The steering is electric power, and the SE and Up get this leather-wrapped steering wheel. The design is pretty similar to the outgoing model. The left side houses most of your controls, and on the other side you have your cruise controls. That means the little black cruise switch that's been on every Camry for the past 20 years has bit the dust. The switchgear has also been changed out this year, though it's more or less the same. Finally, the wheel itself does adjust. Another notable change is that the fuel and trunk releases are now up here, along with the auto high beams and the traction control. Storage space is very good, as is typical of the Camry. The center console is really large, a lot larger than the old one to my eye. I do want to point out just how long this armrest is, so there's really no need for it to even adjust. Up here you have a flat area, which would be a Qi wireless charging pad on models with the audio package. This slides out of the way to reveal a very deep area. Above it you have your connections, which are nicely labeled. Toyota did stick with the traditional shifter, though it's not gated anymore. Going to the left does allow for manual shifting, or you can use these paddles on the SE and XSE. When you go into reverse, a standard backup camera will appear. X trims will get you dynamic guidance lines, and also the option of upgrading to the 360-degree bird's eye camera. Behind the shifter, you would find an electronic parking brake and brake hold feature on XLE and XSE. Only the SE gets this single zone automatic climate control, since the LE gets manual and the X's get dual zone. It's a very simple setup controlled entirely through these physical controls and not on the screen. Overall, it looks a lot like the Avalon's. Every trim equipped with a 4-cylinder engine gets this 6-speaker sound system.
This is a Ryan Little production.
Sound quality is decent considering it's a bass system. Audiophiles, however, will definitely want to upgrade to the 9-speaker JBL system. And now that takes us to the all-new Entune 3.0 system. The Camry is the first Toyota to get this, so let's take a quick look. This is the home screen, and you have shortcut buttons that go alongside the screen. You can click on items to expand them to their full functionality. I'm connected via the standard Bluetooth, and I can play, pause, and skip songs straight from here. It does respond a whole lot faster than the old system. And here are all the other sources, not including the apps which you can add to the system. Next, let's check out Phone. All of your contacts automatically sync over, and as you can see, scrolling is very smooth. A big feature of Entune 3.0 is its expanded apps. It includes iHeartRadio, Pandora, Yelp, NPR, Slacker Radio, and Scout GPS Link for models without integrated navigation. You do not get Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, but 2018 introduces in-car Wi-Fi for models with the 8-inch screen. There's a whole lot more to this system that I'm not going to be able to cover in this video. So for a more detailed tutorial, check out our dedicated Entune 3.0 Tech Help video. A link to that video is provided in the description. The final thing that convenience package adds is this auto-dimming mirror, which also has a compass and HomeLink universal remotes. There's your sunglass holder. Our SE has no moonroof, but one is optional on this or on the LE. The XLE and XSE also don't get a standard moonroof, but instead they get to upgrade to a panoramic moonroof. So all in all, the Camry's cabin has really impressed me. This is far from a fully loaded example, but it's still fairly luxurious and high-tech. Higher-end models will even get you several features that are practically unheard of in the segment. It's still very much a Camry in regards to its traditional values, but now with more personality. Overall, it's a big step up. Now Mason will show you the back seats and the trunk.
Just as the front gets a big upgrade in material quality, so does the back door trim. The elbow rest is nicely padded, and the rest is made with nice graining. As you can see, there's also plenty of space for a regular water bottle. Regarding the space in the 18 Camry, you have 38 inches of both leg and headroom. That's class competitive, but it will slide in quite a bit below the recently unveiled 2018 Accord. The rear seats themselves are some of the most comfortable in any car. This hole here is where the rear climate vents would be on XSE and XLE. The center armrest is very nicely padded, and it has cup holders in the end. You also have a light up top, a nice cutout for additional headroom, and an assist grip and coat hook. Legroom isn't going to be a concern for most of you, because even with it adjusted for my brother's 5'8" frame, space is plentiful. With the seat scooted even all the way back, I still have a good inch or two of room. So with all that said, I have no qualms about the new Camry's rear seat. It continues doing what it has always done well, being spacious and comfortable. And as you go up the trims, it now adds a lot of luxury touches from the Big Brother Avalon. I wanted to give you all a look at what it's like with the 60/40 split seats folded. They do fold pretty flat. Opening the trunk is just as easy as pushing the button on the top, and it even opens all the way, almost like a power trunk. Anyway, inside the cargo area you'll find 15.1 cubic feet of space with most trims, and 14.1 cubic feet with the base L trim. Once again, that positions it as class competitive, but still a little less than its main competitor, the redesigned Accord. As expected, the passenger seat is manually adjusting, up until the X models where it is 8-way power. I love this stitched plastic, and the silver trim. The glove box is dampened, and it's crazy how deep it is. Well guys, we're glad you joined us as we reviewed the all-new 2018 Toyota Camry SE. Stay watching for a quick look at the pricing info of this particular model, as well as the rest of the Camry lineup. Like, comment, and subscribe below, and don't forget to come along with us next time, as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.